If you're looking for the ultimate expression of automotive freedom, it's pretty hard to beat the ambiance of a luxury ragtop. This segment has been shrinking over the years with really only BMW, Audi, and of course Mercedes playing in this ever so smaller niche of a space. Now for 2024, Mercedes-Benz is looking to reinvigorate this segment with an introduction of a new model here. This right here is the first ever Mercedes-Benz CLE class. It essentially combines the aspects of the C-Class and the E-Class Cabriolet into one model. And as you can see, this week we are testing out the more powerful variant. This is the 2024 CLE 450 Cabriolet, which means we have a 3-liter turbocharged inline-6, electrically assisted by a mild hybrid system. And the big question I want to answer, for those of you who are looking for a ragtop, drop-top vehicle that seats 4 comfortably and offers plenty of tech, style, and sophistication, how does the brand new 2024 CLE 450 Cabriolet stack up? Stay tuned to find out. Now, before we start talking about the exterior design of the new CLE class, I thought I'd pop the hood and show you guys what's powering this thing. Now, here initially in America, Mercedes will offer the cab in 2 different engine options, the CLE 300, which has a 2-liter turbo 4-cylinder. This, however, is the more powerful variant, a CLE 450, which means we get the company's 3-liter turbocharged inline-6. Now, underneath this big plastic shroud, you're going to find a gem of an engine. This is kind of where we're at the peak of internal combustion power. It's the company's new generation or latest generation 3-liter turbocharged inline-6, augmented by a 48-volt mild hybrid system, so it's a mild hybrid. The power figures are 375 horsepower and 369 pound-feet of torque. That puts it right in between the BMW M440i xDrive and the Audi S5, which has a V6 turbo. The BMW also has an inline-6. All that power flows through a 9-speed automatic transmission with the company's 4MATIC all-wheel drive system, putting that power to the pavement. Now, fuel economy is rated at 23 in the city and 32 on the highway. It is rated to run on premium fuel. It has a 17.4 gallon fuel tank. You're looking at around 440-ish miles of range on a full tank. Now, with the 6-cylinder, Mercedes estimates pretty strong performance on paper. 0 to 60, according to them, is 4.2 seconds, and it has a top speed of around 130 miles an hour. The Cabriolet is around 200 pounds heavier versus the coupe, so as this model sits, it weighs in at around 4,400 pounds. If you want more power, next year Mercedes-AMG will introduce a 53 version, which has this engine with an electric supercharger as well, in addition to the turbo, upping the power to around 443. We'll have to save that for a different review. But let's go ahead and close up the hood here and talk about the exterior styling. Now, my particular test car is painted in a beautiful color called Moonlit White Metallic. It's an extra $1,750 extra. With the AMG Night package and that power red interior, it just makes for a stunning color combination. I would choose this for myself if I was going to buy this vehicle. You can see the color in the sunlight has this beautiful metallic fleck to it, which it should, considering it's an extra almost $2,000. The headlights, my particular test car is the Pinnacle trim, which means we have the digital light full LED headlights, which are adaptive. They are LED daytime running lights, turn signals, LED low and high beams. No fog lights on the lower fascia, but you can see with the big Mercedes grille, which has more of the star pattern in the actual grille insert with the double stars. The black Night package adds glossy black accents, which looks good. The front fascia also looks a little bit more aggressive. If you guys wait for the AMG version, the vehicle will have an even more aggressive and wider looking body to it. But moving around the side profile, you can see the CLE essentially is more akin to an E-Class cab when you look at the dimensions. So as you can see, with a 191-inch overall length and a 112.8-inch wheelbase, the wheelbase matches that of the new C-Class, so it's about 1.5 inches shorter than the E-Class, but this is around 71 inches wide. At 191 inches long, this is an inch longer than the old E-Class cab, but it's around 4 inches shorter than the new E-Class sedan. So it's got really nicely proportioned vehicles, although I will say the front end reminds me more of a CLA versus an E-Class or a C-Class. You can see my particular test car has the optional AMG 20-inch wheels with a 2-tone machine finish to it with the black accents. You have a massive 14-inch rotor, I believe, with cross drilling and 4-piston calipers. You can also get an all-black wheel if you'd like. This is a 245 by 40 or 35 R20-inch wheel. The rear tires are a little bit fatter at 275, so it's got a 30mm wider tire. You have adaptive suspension, no air suspension, But you can see with the night package, my particular test car has black painted side mirrors, which are power folding, integrated turn signals, cameras throughout. And then it also has the driver assistance package, which adds the cameras there for the full speed range adaptive cruise, and of course the lane change assist. Now, if you guys have the air cap actuated or activated, this little area here will pop up. That also has a little screen between the two rear seat headrests that pops up, a windscreen that basically helps to create an air bubble over the top of the vehicle to keep the cabin more serene and much quieter, which is nice. The drop top convertible of this vehicle does raise and lower in about 20 seconds at speeds of up to 37 miles an hour. Mercedes also offers different colors for the top. My test car has a black top, but as you can see, when the top is down, the vehicle looks absolutely stunning. Some have, compared it to a Toyota Solara, a modern day Solara. I could see why that is, but I have to say, when the top is down with this color combination, this car definitely stands out, and it's unique because you just don't find four-seater ragtops anymore. The segment has been shrinking and shrinking every year. Now you can see, looking at the taillights, they are kind of like a combination taillight that we've seen in the new GLC Coupe, which is an SUV. You can see you have a full LED taillight with LED turn signals, reverse lights, brake lights. I would have kind of liked to see this be an actual light bar. This tries to make it look like so, but it's not. There's a subtle rear spoiler over here. The rear bumper also has these dual rectangular exhaust tips, but they're actually fake. The actual real exhaust is located underneath the bumper itself, which is kind of nice how it's designed like that, because you're not going to get exhaust soot. But I also kind of wish that it was a real exposed exhaust system. I suspect the 53 model may give you that. You can see, pushing open the star logo here, that's what's going to open up the trunk capacity. And the trunk in this vehicle does shrink a little bit. You're looking at 9.6 cubic feet, about 5 cubic feet less versus the coupe version. The convertible obviously takes up space. You can fold down the rear seats if you'd like. And if you guys have the top up, you can basically push this button here, which will allow that panel to move out of the way so you have better access into the trunk. Underneath this floor here, there is no spare tire. Instead, you just get a fix-a-flat kit, or not even a fix-a-flat kit. The 12-volt battery is back here. That little box there pops out to create like a little storage bin area for the cargo area. So overall, the trunk capacity is a little small, but I was able to fit a 21-inch roller bag in here with no problems. So now let's move on to the interior of this new CLE 450 Cabriolet. Before we get inside, however, let's go ahead and talk about the key fob real quick. You can see this is the current intelligent access fob from Mercedes-Benz. It's a really sturdy and hefty feeling key. It feels heavy. It uses some really nice materials. There's a lock, unlock, power open for the trunk, and then a panic feature as well. You can also access this vehicle through the Mercedes Me app if you're an owner, so kind of keep that in mind. You can see the door handles. They're very traditional. They're not that new pop-out door handle that you see in some other Mercedes models. So if I touch this little area here, that will lock the door for you. It beeps, and then the mirrors will electrically fold in. To unlock the door, just touch the back of the door handle. That will unlock the door for you automatically. Now, as I showed you guys before, this power red upgraded leather interior with the two-tone black looks amazing with the moonlight white exterior. It just adds that pop of color that the kind of boring white doesn't really give you with the red interior. It's a great color combination. You can see these seats, they adjust in like 14 different ways. They have a power up and down head restraint, and they also give you the ability to kind of move the head restraint in and out, but that's manual. There's the air scarf that blows the warm air down your neck, and then these seats are also heated and ventilated, covered in premium leather. The seats themselves, they aren't the AMG sport seats that you can get on the AMG model, but they do hold you in place nicely, and they're really comfortable for long trips. These also have an active massage feature. This is the only vehicle in the segment that actually gives you a massage, and Mercedes says that this leather is treated with a material that helps to keep the actual leather seats up to 50 degrees cooler when you have the top down, when it's beating down in the sun. So that's a really great feature. I drove this vehicle with the top down for the whole week, and I have to say, even in the bright sunlight, the seats always felt cool to the touch. So that's a really great technology that helps with keeping the interior from scalding you. You can see the door panels have beautiful leather covering this area here, more of that power red. You have some piano black plastic with some aluminum trim, aluminum here, one touch for all four on the windows. The controls also feel high quality. Down in this lower area here, you can see it's hard touch plastic. My test car also has the upgraded Dolby Atmos Burmester surround sound system, which sounds incredible. The bass in this vehicle is bumping, especially if you want to turn up the tunes, which is important when you're driving a vehicle with the top down. Now, stepping inside, you can see it's got a pretty low step in height because obviously it's a drop top convertible. As I shut the door doesn't have this most solid sounding thunk, but that's kind of the case with most luxury ragtops. The door also does not offer a soft close feature. Now, Getting inside the vehicle, starting it up, the start-stop button is located a little high on the dash, which I appreciate. And because this is a mild hybrid, you can see it basically just whirs to life. It doesn't have the traditional starter noise, which is nice. And then all CLE classes come with basically their latest infotainment software. This is their latest MBUX. You have an 11.9-inch center display over here with a 12.3-inch digital instrument cluster here. Now, obviously, it's not the full-on hyper screen or super screen that you can get in the E-Class, but I think the system is definitely still very nice with their new software. You can see the leather from here continues onto the dashboard. The Pinnacle trim includes that beautiful heads-up display.
Multiple results.
Mercedes is always constantly listening to you, so it will get in the way when you're trying to do a video or if you say the name. The dash vents, I love the kind of clickiness that you get. It just kind of has that satisfying sound. I love the 3 vents as well with the leather here, the aluminum trim, the aluminum trim over here. You can also replace that with wood if you guys prefer a warmer wood look. And then you're probably noticing the top is down. The screen itself gets washed out in the bright sunlight. There's an easy solution for that. Push that button here, and that tilts the screen forward to help with seeing the screen. It's perfect when you guys have the roof open. So love this little feature here. It is also kind of a cool little party trick. I've shown you guys this infotainment system before. It also includes wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. It also includes their latest software. So you can see there's apps that you can download. You can also get Apple Music built into the actual screen over here, which, as you can see, Spotify, Apple Music, and Amazon Music. Mercedes is one of the few OEM brands that really offers Apple Music built into the native software, so I love that. So you don't necessarily need the CarPlay when you can kind of have that functionality. Going to the climate menu here, you can see there is an air quality system which has an air filtration, but no perfume. This isn't available with the perfume. If you go to the comfort setting here, you can see this is where you can activate the massage. My personal favorite is the activating massage, which just feels really nice. The ambient lighting in this vehicle also is incredibly intricate. There's also a new color called Racing Orange, which just pairs perfectly with this actual interior. It looks amazing with the red. Ambient lighting is kind of Mercedes' specialty. I love it. Some people think it's a little annoying. The CarPlay takes up the entire screen, and this system is one of the quickest responding systems, and it also works well. Mercedes has done a good job with simplifying the MBUX, so it's definitely a big improvement over the previous generation. Push that button here, you can see there's a full 360 camera, which allows you to do a 360 perimeter scan, which is nice. It also has an automatic parallel park feature. The camera quality and resolution is among the best you're going to find, which is important when you're spending this type of money on a vehicle. There's a couple of shortcut buttons here, which allows you to access a couple of settings here as well. There's a fingerprint reader over here. I can also push that to make the screen go back to its normal position. This does collect fingerprints and smudges, which is kind of annoying, but this area here, as you can see, is covered with a couple of cheaper plastics. The steering wheel is the new Mercedes steering wheel with a lot of touch-sensitive controls. I don't love that. I also don't love the piano black. It shows a lot of scratches, or smudges mostly. And then you can see the steering wheel is a power tilt telescoping mechanism with a good amount of range and adjustability. The horn, it sounds actually pretty loud considering how much this is a lower-end Mercedes convertible model, but lower is kind of relative. Paddle shifters control the 9-speed auto. Here's the shifter for the vehicle. Push it all the way up to go to reverse. There's the camera again. Push it down to go to drive. Push the end of the stalk to go into park. Pretty simple to use, which I like. Down here you can see there's a door bin that kind of covers this little area that has the cup holders and your wireless phone charging pad. There's 2 USB-C charging ports. These buttons here control the top, where you can open the top, close the top, and then pull up the air scarf, which, as you can see when I do that, that brings up that little screen. The deflector that kind of helps to keep the air pocket from going into the cabin, so it kind of creates a little bubble, which is nice. You have a padded center console here. The plastics here feel a little bit on the cheaper side, but I have to say, it doesn't really have as much of the creaking when I start pressing on the interior panels like an EQ, Mercedes EQ product. You can see 2 more USB-C charging ports here, which offers a decent amount of storage as well. The heated and ventilated seats are located in the actual seats themselves. If I want to adjust the seats, there's a little pressure pad here. It doesn't actually physically move, but when you touch that, you can feel the actual seat moving itself. You've got 3-person memory here on both the driver and on the front passenger, which is nice. If I open up the glove box here, you can see it's actually big. It fits all my camera equipment, which is good for offering more storage since the center console here doesn't have much in terms of storage. You have an auto-dimming rearview mirror, which you can see the view out of the back is nice. There's some leather covering. It looks like this upper portion here, which is nice. You have sun visors with an actual light, which is good. You have LED map lighting here as well. and overall you can see the interior definitely looks more like a C-Class, which is not a bad thing. The quality is better than some of the other Mercedes products that I've tested. Visibility is good aside from this thick pillar here, and overall it makes for a very impressive tech-heavy cabin with lots of luxury touches. Now let's go ahead and hop into the back seat area, because this is actually where Mercedes did a great job with the CLE class. You can see, pull that little strap here, the seats will electrically move forward. And then once I get back here, it is only able to seat 2, obviously. But once I'm back here, I couldn't find the legroom figures for the rear seat, but this is pretty much where I'd have the seat to drive at 5'7". There's actually a pretty good amount of foot space and legroom space. I could sit back here and be comfortable. Obviously, there's no middle seat here. You do have rear seat air vents, no USBs back here, or heated rear seats. You have beautiful leather coming back into this area here, which is nice. The metal speakers for the Burmester sound system, nice leather padded over here. The seats, I will say, are a little bit narrow, so if you're a wider frame, you're gonna find this to be a little constraining. I would have liked to see an armrest fold down here because, again, this is only a 2+, but you do have cup holders and a little bit of storage here. Obviously, you have a million miles of headroom when the roof is up or off, but when the roof is up, it actually is surprisingly decent, but you have to be under 6 feet to actually be able to fit back here with decent headroom space. But overall, you can see the back seat isn't just for carrying packages. You can actually put average size adults or definitely kids in this rear seat. So I must admit, getting to drive a brand new convertible sports car or roadster in 2024 is a rare treat, because everybody wants to buy an SUV nowadays. So it's kind of great that Mercedes is taking this time, to introduce a brand new name, the CLE class. Now we are back driving the Cabriolet, which is arguably the one that I would choose for myself, especially on a beautiful day like today. I will be putting the top down in just a moment, but we're going to start off the drive here with the top up, because Mercedes says that this top, when it's up, even though it's a soft top, is one of the most insulated tops you're going to find in its segment, and it results in a really quiet and serene cabin. And they're definitely right. The structure of this vehicle feels really solid. No cowl shake, not a single squeak or rattle from the interior as I go over bumps, and it almost feels like I'm driving an actual coupe, even though this is a soft top. It feels like a hard top. Now this model that we're driving is the 450, which means we have the 3-liter turbocharged inline 6-cylinder engine, electrically assisted by a 48-volt mild hybrid system. Mercedes says with 375 horsepower, this model is good for 0 to 60 in just 4.2 seconds. Now, when I tested this vehicle out in California, I got 4.9. We're gonna retest it again on our usual stretch of road without Jared in the passenger seat. So let's see if it makes a little bit of difference if it's just one passenger. So we'll go ahead and see what we can get. It has a 9-speed auto with 4MATIC all-wheel drive. We'll brake torque it. Oof! Zero to 60 in 4.84 seconds. So really not that much faster, even though I'm by myself. It is significantly slower than what Mercedes claims. Now, this model that we're driving is around 200 pounds heavier versus the coupe. The coupe can theoretically do it in like 4.1 seconds, but I'm a little disappointed that that number's not faster. We'll try it again. It didn't really like it when I brake torqued it. There is no launch control with this model. If you guys want that and even more serious performance, go for the AMG version. That's gonna give you even more power. And it's going to add in that electric supercharger, the actual electric supercharger. So kind of keep that in mind. This model here that we're driving, however, is still really nice to drive, and the engine also sounds good. I love a straight 6. There's a progressive sports sound that I have turned on, and it almost makes it feel like it's a V8 with its rumbles and its crackles. But let's try another run here. This time we're not going to brake torque it. Oof. Shifts at around 6,000 RPM, 4.96 seconds there. So that's with it more going slightly uphill. We'll try another run up ahead there and see what we can get, but this is still plenty of performance, plenty of power, and it's definitely nice to have that quick shifting 9-speed. It's also a wonderful transmission. Now, just driving this vehicle normally, the CLE feels more akin to a C-Class, even though the dimensions of this vehicle are more like an E-Class. I mean, it's 191 inches long, so it's longer than the old E-Class cab, but not quite as long as the E-Class sedan, the one that I just tested. Width is pretty similar to a C-Class. The steering in this car is quick, it's responsive. In sport mode, it also gets a little bit heavier. The suspension in this vehicle is really soft. I love how smooth the ride quality is, how comfortable it is, how quiet this vehicle is, and I can go ahead and show you guys what the top is like to put down. So you can actually operate the top at speeds up to 37 miles an hour. So you just basically pull this little switch here, We're going 25 miles an hour, so the top takes about 20 seconds to go up and down. You can see putting the top down. It is absolutely fantastic. It's kind of chilly outside. It's 57 degrees, but this is kind of a good chance to test out the air cap feature. So the top is back up. I basically pull up on this little button here in the center. There's a little panel that pops up right here above the headliner, or not the headliner, the cowl right here. And then there's also a little netting that goes up in the rear. And this essentially creates a little cap that forces the air to go over my head, and it creates a bubble inside this cabin to where it's not super loud or windy in here. I can also turn on the air scarf, which blows warm air down the back of my neck. And I have to tell you guys, I drove it with the top down on the interstate going 75 miles an hour in these 50-degree temperatures with the air scarf on and the air cap on, and it just felt really comfortable in here. You can actually still have a conversation with your passenger next to you as well. So that's kind of clever engineering on Mercedes' part. And I have to say, it's probably one of the quietest convertibles that I've tested in a long time with the top up. So bravo on Mercedes for that. Now, turning radius in this vehicle also feels really nimble. When you don't drive the vehicle super aggressively, the transmission is really smooth and it just shifts so well. And I have it in sport mode the entire time. It still feels really comfortable. It's not jerky. The ride quality is not firm or not too stiff. So this is a wonderful GT vehicle. And I think that's where Mercedes nailed it. This is supposed to be a luxury drop top. It's not necessarily supposed to be a sports car, but it definitely is sporty. So I appreciate the sporty vibe that you get with this car. Let's try another run here. This time I won't brake torque it. We'll just floor it. Sounds great. 4.83 seconds there, so 4.8 is the quickest we'll take. It's not slow. I'm a little disappointed that it's not closer to the 4.2 that Mercedes claims. I suspect a BMW M440i or an Audi S5 will probably be quicker than this vehicle, even though the Audi on paper is the slowest because it has the least power. I'm a little surprised that this isn't quicker, but oh, listen to that sound. You gotta love a straight six with the top down. It just makes you feel like you're alive. I love the ambiance that you get with this vehicle with the air scarf. I'm sitting here getting a massage as well. The massaging seat is nice. You can't even get a massaging seat in the Audi or the BMW at any price point. So that's just absolutely fantastic. Taking some corners here, the steering still is surprisingly quick, good feedback as well, and this thing feels like it can handle some corners. So it's not, even though it's more comfort oriented, it still feels really, really comfortable and smooth. Now, I've had the progressive sports sound on in sport mode. You can hear it's creating that fake noise. You put it into comfort, it just quiets down considerably. The exhaust doesn't really make much in terms of noise. It's just, again, the fake sound coming from the speakers, and you do hear some of the straight six mixed in with that fake sound. I love it. I think it sounds incredible. I think it sounds really mechanical, and even though it's fake, I love the sound. So I'm okay with the fake sound as long as it sounds good. Visibility with the top down, you can see this pillar is on the thicker side, but you can see out of the front windshield area pretty good. I love the two bulges in the hood, the view to the side, the view to the back. I mean, now with the top down, I can basically see everything. And, you know, driving around like this, it's just absolutely comfortable with the heated seats, the air scarf, the heater that's on. It's just absolutely a joy. This is the reason why, as an enthusiast, I love drop tops, and I love the fact that Mercedes is not giving up on drop tops, so there's not very many out there left. You really are just going to be buying one of the three Germans at this price point. Now, in terms of the fuel efficiency, this model that we're driving is rated at 23 in the city, 32 on the highway. It's actually about the same gas mileage, if not a little better, versus the C300 cab, the 4-cylinder. So even though you are getting a lot more power with the 6, you're not giving up anything in terms of fuel efficiency. This does require to run on premium. In my week's worth of testing, I averaged around 25 mpg in mixed driving. On the highway, I got just shy of 32 mpg. So that's really excellent fuel economy. You're looking at around 440 miles of range on a full tank. That is on premium, like I said, but really excellent fuel efficiency, and that's because of that mild hybrid system. Mercedes' straight 6 is also a really fuel efficient engine. So if you're planning to use this as a long distance cruiser, a highway car, you can easily do so, and you can do so for miles and miles with the top down. So overall, I love the CLE class, especially in the Cabriolet. I haven't had a chance to drive the coupe, but I think for those of you who have the means to afford this, I mean, it is an additional $8,000 versus the coupe, but I think if you can afford a vehicle like this, you're gonna be wanting to go with the drop top version because it just makes you, or it just puts a huge smile on your face. And when it's a really beautiful fall day like today, you're gonna wanna drive with the top down and the air scarf blowing that warm air down your neck. So after spending a full week with the brand new CLE Cabriolet, this vehicle is a clear reminder for me why convertibles remain an important status symbol in the automotive space. Because in these beautiful weather conditions like I've been experiencing this whole week, the CLE Cab is best experienced with the top down. With that air cap and the air scarf, you can easily drive this vehicle in cooler temperatures at higher highway speeds with the top down in complete serenity and comfort. The ride quality is among the best you're gonna find. This is truly the definition of a GT luxury ragtop, but at the same time, when you put this vehicle into sport mode and find your favorite back roads, it can also still attack them with surprising agility. The engine, a 3-liter turbo inline 6, with that progressive sport sound turned on, certainly makes V8-like sounds combined with the inline 6. It makes for a pleasant and visceral experience with that quick shifting 9-speed, the smooth and comfortable all-wheel drive system, and those comfortable seats. The interior definitely also feels luxury. It has that luxury ambiance that you expect. The technology also works well. The ambient lighting at night is also an A+. I love how Mercedes actually does their ambient lighting. The rear seat offers a surprising amount of space for somebody my height. If you're over 6 foot tall, however, it could be tight, but again, it definitely, to me at least, I think has the biggest back seat that you're gonna find in the class, which consists of the 4 Series convertible and the Audi A5, which is also about to be replaced as well. Now, the only downside with trying to pick a vehicle in this segment is Mercedes has increased the price of this vehicle significantly, but they've also kind of put it in line in between an E-Class cab and a C-Class cab from the previous generation. The coupe version in the CLE 300 starts at around $56,000. Which again is pretty expensive, but if you guys want the convertible, it's about $8,000 more, starting at around $64,000. Now, if you guys want the 6-cylinder, a 450 is gonna cost you almost $10,000 more at around $73,800, which sounds pretty expensive. I mean, at the base end, this car is around $5,000 more expensive than the BMW, around $7,000 more expensive than the Audi, so that is a pretty big chunk. Now, my tester here with the Pinnacle trim level, the upgraded power red interior, the 20-inch wheels, the upcharge for the color, which is almost $1,800, the driver assistance package, obviously the night package, all in, my particular test car here comes in at around $85,000. I know 85 grand sounds like a stupid amount of money. Keep in mind also the AMG version that'll come next year will probably be even more expensive. It could obviously, I think, approach $100,000 with options, but I have to say, if you're looking in this space, your choices are pretty limited. The Mercedes definitely offers the most, new design, but it also has a really tech-forward interior. It's the only vehicle in the segment with massaging seats, and it also has a really great infotainment system. So for me, really, it's gonna be a hard pick between the BMW and the Mercedes. The Mercedes, to me, is offering more luxury and better technology and more comfort, while the BMW offers a bigger dosage of sport. So it's really gonna come down to which driving style suits your lifestyle more. Me personally, I guess as I'm getting older, I would rather have the more GT experience with the massaging seats and the ambiance and opulence that you get with this new CLE 450. Well, with all that said, hope you guys have enjoyed my full overview on the brand new 2024 CLE 450 Cabriolet. If you're also looking to see the latest cars I'm testing, be sure to follow me on Instagram at redline_reviews, like us on Facebook, and as always, guys, please keep subscribing to the Redline Reviews YouTube channel for all the latest reviews. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you all in the next video.